Alright, UFC Abu Dhabi Fight Night, Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. Just wrapped up, just finished right this second. I totally didn't have to spend time setting up a light to try to get my reflection in the camera. Very nice, but this one was an early one. Had to get up early, crack the monster early, you know how it is. But, I'm making this video just to do a breakdown and basically what happened throughout the fight. A little fighter review, if you will. I do picks and predictions based on pure passion. I don't really put money on these fights. I just like watching the sport because I'm a fan of the sport. I know it's crazy nowadays to even say that. Apparently you have to be gambling in order to be watching UFC, according to some of these guys. But, yeah, overall, good card. I liked the card personally, but yeah, I mean, it kinda was slow early on, and it picked up later on, and I got some picks right, got some picks wrong, but I'll put the count down below my picture frame here, my little video camera frame here, at the end of the video. But yeah, let's just start off with the prelims here. I forget this is a fight night. This really did feel like a main card. Is that just me? I don't know. Compared to next main card, I mean, yikes. Anyways, so we had Hamdi Abdulwahab versus Jamal Pogues. Now, yep, you can start the clowning. I picked Jamal Pogues. It is what it is. Now, what I will say is that this is like the sketch part. As soon as I saw the decision, I was like, oh, it's Saudi Arabia. It's going to be a long night, with these fucking scorecards and some of these, OVs in the mix. But thankfully we were actually saved later on. But yeah, this was a controversial decision. I don't think Hamdi won. I guess if you put money on Hamdi, maybe you thought he won. I don't think he won. I watch a lot of streamers when I'm sort of watching my UFC. I like to sync it up. It's kind of, my one night a week I get to sit back, enjoy, and relax. But shout out MMA Holes, because the fat pig boy MMA guru decided not to stream till later on, which is kind of his normal thing now, the fucking fat piggy. Anyways, yeah, I picked Jamal Pogues. I thought Jamal Pogues won. Hamdi looks like shit. His career was on the line in that final round, and he just, I guess, prayed that the judges would give him that decision, and they gave him that decision. Yeah, it's kind of a rough argument. I don't really know how you give Hamdi 29-28. I think one of them was even 30-27, which was kind of wild, but yeah. No, I think it was a split, right? It was 29-28. I think both, whatever. It was kind of like a robbery situation, It wasn't like one of the worst, but it's definitely pretty bad. So yeah, got the first one wrong. It is what it is, Moving on, we have Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Only reason why I picked Bogdan Grad is because it's named Bogdan, and I know the other Bogdan is a warrior, so, hey, they got something the same, Both of them are pretty good warriors. Bogdan Grad is a much slower pace than I thought, From some of his highlights, I was expecting a little bit more emphasis on a finish, and coming off one of the more credited wins in the Contender Series, I guess. I was kind of just expecting a little bit more from Bogdan Grad. He doesn't look... He's got one of those performances where it looks like he's kind of chinny, and it looks like he's kind of shit, but he just gets it done, and I think that's kind of what we learned with this fight. Lucas Alexander did better than I thought, but I think Lucas Alexander just suffers from being, big twink boy. It is what it is, He kind of is like a shittier Yanal Ashmuz, I think his name is later on in this card, but yeah, Bogdan got it done. Got a decent TKO sort of finish. Wasn't really that great, but you got it done, I guess, Anyways, moving on. So I got that one right. This is why I don't bet on fights, because I don't really do research on some of these fighters making their debut and all that shit. Sue me, I'm a little newer. It is what it is. Anyways. I almost said Terrence McKinney. Jasmine Judah Vicious versus Maiwa Bueno Silva. Now, I do a really high-tech method that I'm going to allude to and not fully reveal, but I do a very high-tech method here, where, I pick my women fights, because I take them very seriously around here. They're always entertaining to watch, but, the coin did land on Jasmine Judah Vicious. I'm happy she won. She's Canadian. Hey, we repping the boys. You know? Kind of sucks that all our greatest representation are now women with Amanda Nunes. Yes, she claims Canadian. You know, people forget, man. Amanda Nunes represented Canada. Just saying. Just saying. Hey, GSP and Amanda Nunes as the GOATs in both gender divisions, buddy. Hey, I'm just saying. You know, just saying. Where's America in the GOAT status? All right. I see GSP there. I see Amanda Nunes there. Where's Raquel Pennington? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways, no, in full seriousness, I mean, she won. I thought it was convincing. This was one of the women fights that I actually had to watch because I didn't have to shit. And yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say here? All my prospects are losing. Mike Malott is my fucking representation on the world stage for combat sports, all right? I need something for Canada. Anyways, yeah, it is what it is. On top of, like, the coin landing on Jasmine Judavicius, if you get my drift. Maiwa Bueno Silva, I don't know what it is, but, like, she just seemed not in the game. You know, she almost looked like she was, like, it's gonna sound a little weird, but I don't know, like, maybe she was pregnant, maybe she thought she was pregnant. It just seemed really odd. She kept on, like, sort of hunching over and, like, defending her stomach, even though she's a pretty big woman, and she could probably outmuscle Jasmine pretty much everywhere. And, like, I don't know what's going on, but it seemed like she had some sort of surgery done recently around her stomach area, you know? Like, I don't know. It just seemed really weird. Every single time it was in an interview, I know she doesn't have, like, you know, she's no Alexa Grasso in terms of face, right? But she just seemed off the whole week. So I'm glad the coin landed on Jasmine Judavicius. I'm glad my country is finally able to go on the world stage. Hey, maybe Jasmine's the next GOAT. Who knows? Who knows? You know? Maybe she's going to be in the pound for pound list, you know? One day. Hey, Canada will come back, all right? We will rise again. Hopefully. Anyways, Terrence Chinny McKinney versus Damir yeah, the fucking whatever bomber, Bosnian bomber, whatever the fuck he was. I picked Damir purely because I can't trust Terrence McKinney's chin. I hate the way he takes damage. Every time he gets hit, looks like he's about to cry. But I mean, he got it done. I was rooting for Terrence McKinney. I'm happy the kid got a finish. I mean, it's great. He's just never going to be anything. I don't think he'll ever be ranked. Like, he's not even bad. He's just got a horrendous chin. To be fair, he did beat, like, a bum in Damir. Maybe he can, like, mop up the bums for a while, you know? Maybe as time goes on, because he's still, like, young-ish, right? Right, guys? I thought he was, like, 27. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's rough for Terrence McKinney, you know? But it is what it is, you know? Get by with what you can get by. You know, I'll be rooting for Terrence McKinney. I like him in terms of, like, he brings a personality, at least, you know? He's not just gonna fucking sit there and be like, yeah, respect all my opponents. Yeah, we're gonna fight. You know, I like something about you to make you unique. But anyways, moving on, we have Shamil the Blob Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. To be fair, round one was, you know, he got finished in round one. To be fair, early on, you know, Thomas Peterson, a.k.a. MMA Guru's long-distance cousin from the other side of the world, you know. Thomas Peterson, he was looking good. He was looking like he could take shots and everything, and then he just got slept by a right hand down the pipe, you know? And you can see it, like, he closed his eyes. I think he thought he parried, and then as he was thinking, like, oh, I parried it, I'm good, he just got, like, fucking slept out cold. You know, Shamil, the only one... Actually, no, he didn't... Yeah. Shamil's the only one who really slumped anyone out tonight, but, you know, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good win from Shamil. You know, yeah, big meaty hooks, yeah, you know, Shamil the Blob Gaziev, Peaches and Creamville. Anyways, if you don't get that reference, I mean, what are you doing on MMA YouTube? But yeah, Shamil got it done. I got the pick wrong. It is what it is. I mean, I'll take it, you know. I'm not, like, upset Shamil won, I guess, but, you know, I thought Thomas Peterson was going to do a little bit better. I think he defended a takedown, if I'm remembering correctly. Or no, he got a takedown. That's what it was, you know? So, like, Thomas Peterson was looking okay, but, like, at the end of the day, he's just a fat dude. Shamil's a less fatter dude, and that's why Shamil wins, you know? People forget, man. Shamil Gaziev, he fought in volleyball. A marauder of a sport. But, yeah, anyways, Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Olfli. I went Muhammad Naimov. I just think Muhammad Naimov's clean. But, hey, doesn't feel too good when you get kicked in the nuts. Hey, Muhammad Naimov, maybe you should remember that when Nathaniel Wood comes for that belt. Once you rob it off of... never mind. Muhammad Naimov's never getting to the top of featherweight. I thought he was bantamweight for a second. I was going to say, you know, maybe if he robs it off of someone at the top at the time, but featherweight's too stacked. But yeah, Naimov's pretty good. Thought he was pretty good. You know, he's keeping it toe-to-toe with Nathaniel Wood. Respectable. But, you know, you got kicked in the nuts. Con Oakley was just, like, down in every round slightly, you know? He got dropped at moments he really needed to get not dropped. And he was shooting for takedowns and then it's like he wasn't pulling guard. He was just accepting that the other guy's stronger. And then he just went to his back. It was weird. It was very weird from Con Oakley. I think he thought he was just going to be stronger, and he just wasn't. You know, that's kind of how the matchup looked like. But yeah, I got the pick right in Muhammad Naimov. I didn't think it was going to end by finish. Thought it was a decision. Don't know if I said that in my predictions, but it is what it is. Anyways, moving on to the main card. Normally I do pretty well on prelims, but this year so far I've been kind of like almost sweeping the main card and then doing pretty shit in the prelims. So, you know, take that with whatever you will if you're a degenerate gambler who likes to gamble. But I'm not judging. Hey, I'm not judging. Anyways, for us, Viam versus Mike Davis. I picked Mike Davis. Not a good start when I just said I sweep the main card. But... Yeah. I mean, Mike Davis, to be fair, was doing pretty well. I think it was a 30-27. I don't agree with that. I think it was 29-28. Arguably could have went to Mike Davis at some parts. Maybe this was split, or was it unanimous? I can't really remember. I think it was actually unanimous. But, yeah, I thought for us, Yum did win. He looked the best he ever has had, I guess. And Mike Davis looked the worst he has ever looked in the cage. He literally looked like he didn't belong in the UFC. He looked like maybe he wasn't training, and this was like a day short notice. Like, it just looked like Mike Davis didn't know what the cage was, you know? Like, he didn't really know what fighting was in round one. And then in round two, all of a sudden, he's like out scrambling in every moment he can, you know, getting that calf slicer set up, you know, he's almost twisting out Ferocian's fucking MCL, and then in moments, he's, you know, trying to go for heel hooks. He's trying to get the back, you know, from bottom, which was like a pretty interesting way to almost get, you know, and he did that in round 2 and 3. But it's just really odd. Really odd. I don't know. I felt like Mike Davis should have looked better than that, and he didn't. And, yeah, Mike Davis lost his 5-fight winning streak. Sucks that you're not going to get your, 10-10, 5-5 as a UFC fighter. Maybe you should train a little bit more. Maybe not look like it's your first fight in the fucking UFC. I don't know. You know, maybe that's just me. But, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like at moments Mike Davis didn't want to strike, even though he was winning some of the striking exchanges. Like, Ferocian did not look like a total dominant fucking... This guy's going to be a problem at lightweight, you know? To me, it just looked like, oh, Ferocian, you know, he took a few shots, got wobbled, and then Mike Davis shoots a takedown. Like, what are we doing? You know? What are we doing? But anyways, Ferocian won. He looked okay. Didn't look like a killer to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing. Moving on. Oh, looks like the cliff has been found out, and I predicted this to happen. You know, Vinicius Oliveira is a little underrated. He's a sneaky guy. Came in with a broken rib and out-grappled Nurmagomedov. Now, all this being said, I do actually rate Said Nurmagomedov. I like Said Nurmagomedov. He's a decent striker, kind of got pillow hands, and tries to latch up a fast submission. You know, he's not one of these lay on you, yes, brother, I dominate all my opponents, brother, yes, brother. No, he will strike with you, win the striking, and then snatch up like a quick submission. You know, he's pretty good. Vinicius Oliveira just had more dog in him, you know, and at the end of the day, that's all you really need to beat these fucking, you know, cliff dwellers, you know? You just need a little bit more dog, and I think Vinicius Oliveira brings it. He's almost like he's like a bantamweight Jalen Turner with the grappling skills of a young Gilbert Burns. You know? He's got decent grappling, like IQ and everything. He knows how to stop the takedowns. He knows how to reverse positions. You know, and that's what I like to see. He knows that top is where you win. Even if you're not doing a lot on top position, you will win that position. The judges will see it and be like, oh, he's on top of him. He's winning. You know, that's how judges see it. You know, unless your name ends in an ov. So when he was getting those takedowns, he's making sure he's on top. He's making sure he's getting, you know, not full mount, but, you know, he's mounting his opponent, you know. He's making sure he's got, like, ways to get to the back. Making sure he stops Nurmagomedov from getting a takedown, you know. To be fair, Saeed is not known for his takedown skills, but he's not bad. You know, I think that's the big takeaway here. Vinicius Oliveira could be a problem. He had a broken rib that whole fight. Literally after the fight, right after the fight, he was wincing at his rib cage like, ah, fuck, you know? And I've been there with a popped rib, man. Hey, Kevin Holland, take some fucking notes. What happens when your rib breaks? You still fight through it, brother. And Vinicius didn't even break it in the cage. He broke it outside the cage. I'm pretty sure. I was listening to the post-fight speech a little bit, but, you know, because I watch a completely legal broadcast, you know, sometimes I go in the Spanish section for fun, you know, so I couldn't really understand a lot of the words being said, but, yeah, Vinicius is good, man. He's just good. He's a good dog. He's got, like, the sort of, I'm gassed out, but I'm still throwing hard, sort of style. You know, how good is Bernardo Sopage at the end of the day, right? But, yeah, no, Vinicius Oliveira did well. I picked Vinicius Oliveira, and he pretty much won in almost every way I think he should have won, you know? He was getting the better in the striking damage exchanges, and even though I don't think he was actually landing as much, okay, it was pretty close. It was pretty close, to be fair. He wasn't landing as much, but he was getting the takedowns, and he was getting the pressure. You know, and when Saeed's gassing out in round 2, which is weird, this isn't at elevation, Saeed has never looked that gassed, I think, in any fight. Like, it's not like, oh, Saeed, yeah, he's gonna gas in round 3, you know? That fight made him look like he's got Michel Pereira fucking gas tank. Like, I don't know what happened to Saeed. I don't know, maybe if, like, the Umar losing is now, like, lowered the level of all Nurmagomedovs, but I think that's what we're kind of finding out. Anyways, moving on to Sergey Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Listen, I'm not going to dog on you if you pick Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I like Jairzinho Rozenstruik, you know? Every time I see him, his skull kind of reminds me of the skull from Indiana Jones. Can't remember what it was called, but every time I see him, I just think of that skull. You know, or, you know, if you've played Black Ops 3, what is it called? The Skull of Numsokwe or something like that? The Skull of something like that? You know, the wonder weapon you get in Zetsubo no Shima? Kind of reminds me of that little skeleton. But, yeah, Jairzinho, I respect him. Great kickboxer, credited guy. But he doesn't do things when you need to be doing things. That's my big takeaway. And I've kind of had that in every one of his fights. He really doesn't, like, with Shamil, with his last opponent. Who was his last opponent? Was it Tai? I think it was Tai. Like, he won't go for big striking exchanges when it's, like, nothing's happening, you know? But, like, you need to be going when it's that dead even, you know? And Sergey Pavlovich was actually kind of a more patient guy. I was expecting him to be a lot more like, fuck it, I'm just going to go in there and swing as hard as I can, because of his last fight with Volkov, and him, like, literally surviving a war with Volkov. Sick-ass fight. And he took big shots. So, if I was Pavlovich, like, if I came off that Volkov fight, I'd be like, okay, I can trust in my chin, I know I'm tough as shit, I'm gonna get in there with these fucking other strikers, and I'm gonna fucking swing and bang. I know I hit harder than these guys. That's what I would be thinking of if I was Sergey. Sergey kind of like, he's like, now I showed the other Russian how to do grappling. Ugh. You know, he saw Umar lost, and he had to prove a point that Russians can still grapple, you know? I respect that, you know? I respect that from my boy Sergey. You know, showing the other Cliff how it's done. That's how we get down with Sergey Pavlovich. But, yeah, Sergey was just waiting, and he was waiting for the counter-strike, or waiting for a time to, like, really get on his opponent and just lay on him, you know? I think Sergey's figured out, he's tougher than most of these heavyweights. Like, literally, maybe top 3 and below, I think he just smokes. You know? I think Sirogan might be problems. I think that rematch with Tom Aspinall is looking a little better. And I think Volkov gives him problems. Outside of those three, I don't see anyone in heavyweight really giving Pavlovich any problems. I think he's figured that out, and I think he's realized, let me just secure a win, and then maybe get a little bit more risky, you know? I think there's a lot of aura when you see Sergey kind of going for a finish, when you see him trying to land bombs, you know, you're almost like, oh shit, you know? You don't want to get caught like a Derek Lewis. You don't want to get caught like Taito Ivasa, you know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure you get out of the way. And I think Jairzinho tried to back up way too much, and he just didn't have the speed to back up enough from Sergey Pavlovich. So Sergey gets it done. You know, there was moments where I think, honestly, almost every strike, I'm biased, obviously. I think almost every strike from Sergey Pavlovich wobbled Jairzinho Rosenstruik. Holy shit. Okay, that's because of the ground and pound. I was like, there's no way he landed that much. Little boring. I get it. People forget, man, Sergey Pavlovich is a Russian, you know? That's kind of what they do over there. Just saying, Jasmine Judavicius made it entertaining with Mayra Bueno Silva, you know? Just saying. Yep, that's my country. Anyways. Yeah, Sergey Pavlovich got it done. Happy Sergey got it done. If you pick Jairzinho, I don't even fault you, you know? Jairzinho's a good striker. He's just not top 5. He's top 10. He's not top 5. You know what I mean? So, I think Jairzinho, there's some big matchups he can probably get. You know, maybe Jolton Almeida, maybe a Curtis Blades if Blades loses one more, something like that, you know? So, I think Jairzinho's still alive in the division, you know? So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know? At the end of the day, it's night. So, what are you gonna do? But, yeah, Sergey Pavlovich gets it done. Moving on to the next fraud check I saw coming. Ooh, buddy, shooting takedowns, eh? The narrative going up here was Shar Bullet, you know, he's been training takedowns, he's been doing this, you know, he's been, open workouts, he was shooting takedowns, you know, so I think he's just gonna blast double him. Where were those takedowns in this fight, huh? Yeah, that's right. Hey, I know my brethren a little too well, if you know what I mean, you know, I got that ginger breed in me, you know? Some call him Shar Bullet, some call him the MMA guru cousin from Russia. Some call him the clone that escaped the factory when they were trying to, you know, copy MMA guru's DNA during the English government. But I refer to him as the One-Eyed Pirate, as his nickname should be, actually. At the end of the day, he's got one eyeball. You can only get so far with one eye. MVP, as much as people want to shit on him for that Ian Gary performance, he doesn't actually look that bad at middleweight, to be fair, but he's also, like, still good. Like, I don't think people understood. Michael Venom Page isn't just good against bums. He's good against high-level guys, you know? And while, yeah, he might make mistakes, just because he makes, like, a mistake here and there about getting taken down or his back taken by Ian Gary, I mean, it happens, you know? With his style is very much like he'll live on the sword and die by the sword. I think Douglas Lima showed that perfectly when he knocked out Michael Venom Page when he was getting up from an awkward angle, you know? MVP, I don't think has a crazy chin or anything, but the thing with MVP is while he's bouncing back and forth, he's putting all his weight between those 2 feet constantly, and if he's caught at the wrong moment while he's going backwards, while he's getting caught, you know, he's gonna fall to the canvas and shit. He's gonna lose his balance when it happens. If he misses, you can kind of see it when he does miss those big strikes. It's kind of like, oh shit, I need to get, like, my respect back here. My opponent's kind of, like, lighting up my leg. It's kind of getting close. He's kind of predicting me. Shar Bullet was getting close with some of those predictions, you know? But MVP had to help out his boy Israel Adesanya, saying that he's a better striker. Or, sorry, Shar Bullet was saying that he was a better striker than Izzy. And MVP is like, nah, fuck that guy. I'm gonna whoop his ass up a weight class. And what he did, you know, to be fair. Shar Bullet's got a much better chin than I thought. That spinning wheel kick in round 1, I thought for sure was going to put down Shar Bullet. It was there. I was literally calling for it when I was talking to my boys on Discord, but MVP just didn't do it again. I feel like it was open there the whole time. Like, he literally can't, like, he can't see the right half of his face, or it's his left. Whatever eye's fucked up. I think it's the white one. But sometimes it's like, I think it's the left one, because the white one's focused on something, and then the left one's like, Shar's got a weird eye situation, you know? But, yeah, it was a pretty uneventful fight, I think, for most people. I thought it was okay. And yeah, MVP got it done. What can I say? You know, no robbery, clear 29-28. I was very worried with the Hamdi situation that this was going to be a robbery. But hey, judges were told to do their job finally. And you know what happens? I get the picks right, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, you know? Now, moving on to the main event. Now, I know, guys, he's a doggy diddler. I know, guys. I know. He's a drunk driver. I know, guys. I know. He's got some of the cringiest highlights you could ever see. I know. I know. Fake legacy. I know, guys. I know. Don't worry. I know. Oh, I know. But, it kind of feels bad. I'm not going to lie. I picked Israel. And I think I said I was going to root for Imavov because I don't really like Israel at all. Adesanya, not the other Israel. Won't get into that here, you know. But, yeah, not to be confused. Adesanya is who I'm talking about, guys, when I say Israel. But, yeah, I still think Imavov is shit. Like, am I crazy? I don't know. Every time I see Imavov out there, it's like his combos aren't clean. Like, I know he landed a great right hook, but I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just he landed a hook where Izzy closed his eyes after failing to parry. You know? Like, the same thing happened with fucking Shamil. Shamil did the same thing, you know, or Thomas Peterson did the same thing. Like, he pawed away, closed his eyes, I guess thought he parried, and then he got caught. And then fucking Imavov came back, showed him what Buckley did to Wonderboy, and fucking hit him right against the cage. Perfect left hook, probably puts out anyone. But Imavov was getting lit up in round one. You know, I know he landed that uppercut, but outside of that uppercut, pretty much everything else was all Izzy, you know? And it kind of feels bad seeing, you know? It's not even like I like Israel or like I really care about my pick, because I think I'm still up on the card, 6-5. I think 5-5 if you take out the women, which is, you know, fair enough. Also, first women to be represented in Saudi Arabia. You know, just the Canadian ones, just saying. Anyways, yeah, this sucks for Izzy. I think Izzy should just retire, or fight unranked guys. I mean, why not, right? You probably are making a mil for a show. You might as well do it, you know? And I think Izzy's still, like, not bad. But this is definitely, like, an oh shit, you know? This questions DDP's performance, you know? This questions Sean Strickland. How good was DDP, you know? Being down in rounds and submitting Adesanya? No, I don't know. You know, I think I'm still gonna stick with my solid pick for the next UFC event. I think I'm still gonna go with Strickland by decision. Maybe. I don't know. I might change it. But yeah. I have had my fun with Izzy fights. I picked against him, and all the ones I've watched, I picked against him with Sean Strickland. I did Sean Strickland by decision. Hey, cha-ching. A lot of people didn't believe in me. That one guy who made 1,200 did. And that's all that matters. And then the other one was DDP. I picked DDP to win by TKO, ground and pound, but I think he won by sub. Or no, he did win by sub, I don't think. You know, he did win by sub. And then I even picked him to lose against Alex Pereira. The one time I picked him to win, he ends up shitting the bed. What the fuck's going on, Adesanya? But no, this really does suck for Izzy. You know? Even if you're not an Izzy fan, just seeing someone get knocked out cold like that is like a... Ooh, you were once a champion in the division? You know what I mean? Like, ooh, almost like Derek Brunson. Am I right, lads? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You know, if you don't know what that's referencing, you know, referring to is kind of made a comment that Derek Brunson was a former champion. Yep, I know. Laugh at me now. Yep, forgot to double check before I said that. Listen, I'm new to the sport. I love making picks and predictions. I'm going to be making the next pick and predictions for UFC 312. No matter how dog shit the card is, no matter how good the card is, I'm going to be still making picks and predictions. I have not gone negative this year, even if you exclude the women from my official decisions. I'm still technically even or up in the whole year, and I'll be putting those down below. You know, I'm on the rise, building my empire in this space, you know? But, yeah, this was UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Imavov. I'm learning the sport. I've been here for almost 30 years consistently, I'd say. I'm going to still stay here, you know? But yeah, with all that being said, just wanted to make this video on the breakdown of the card, thoughts and opinions on the fights, and how I kind of see the fighters. I still don't think Imavov is that, like, guy to really be champion. I just think it's like he just keeps on fluking these wins, and eventually, like, he's gonna find someone he can't really fluke. Like, I just don't really see how Imavov beats DDP, you know? Like, I don't know. You know, I don't really see him knocking out Strickland, you know? Like, I don't see these moments. In fact, Strickland already beat Imavov. What am I talking about? Anyways, regardless, with all that being said, and that was short notice, I want to thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good day.